All right, everybody. So we're going to be talking about El Presente Progresivo today. We kind of discussed this a little bit a few weeks ago, but basically this is just a way to talk about words that would be equivalent to ing words in English. So, for example, I am going, I am reading, I am eating, stuff like that. This is what we're going to be talking about. So we call it El Presente Progresivo because it's in progress, present progressive. Okay, so to form the present progressive, we have to use the verb estar to agree with the subject of the sentence, and then we have to follow it with the present participle, which is what we say in English is the ing thing. So, for example, I am talking. We know that the verb hablar is to talk, and so we're going to use I am, estoy, hablando. That's our participle, hablando. He is eating. Está agrees with he. And then comer is our verb, so we're going to say comiendo. And we'll talk about how to form these in just 1 second, but just know that this is really what you're looking for when we talk about present progressive. So, for example, we have our chart here. If we wanted to even throw in the subjects, we could do that. Yo estoy, tú estás. All right, this one will be él, ella, usted, está. Bien. This one's nosotros estamos. We're going to make this one a little bit taller. We'll just know that that's nosotros estamos. We're actually going to take estáis off the chart. And then, obviously, the singular is on one side, so the plural has to be on the other side. So we're going to say ellos, ellas, ustedes están. And let's try to make these a little bit more easy to see. Sorry, guys. I know that it's all a work in progress here, so we're just trying to figure out how to do it as we go. There we go. Perfect. So this is what we're talking about. We have the verb of the form of estar that agrees with the subject. So si el sujeto es yo, we're going to use estoy. Tú estás. Él, ella, usted está. Remember the accent marks are only in these 3 forms here. Estamos for nosotros. Y finalmente tenemos ellos, ellas, y ustedes están. Y en español we say gerundio, which is gerund, which is just a fancy way of saying ing, right? So here's an example of how to form those. This is actually really easy because all you do is drop the ending and add on something different. So, for example, how to form the gerunds, drop the infinitive ending. So AR, ER, IR, any of those, we're going to drop the ending, and then we're going to add ando for AR verbs. So we get our hablando, and then yendo for ER, IR verbs. So let's kind of give you an example of what that looks like. We're going to say, take our verb hablar. We're going to drop the ending. Make sure I spell it right. And then we're going to add ando, so hablando. See, same thing here. We're going to take our verb. We're going to drop the ending. Same thing here. Vivir means to live. We're going to have viviendo. And that's what you're going to be looking for these. We're going to be looking to drop that ending and then add the ando or yendo depending on the form of the verb we're using. It's AR, ER, IR. Let's go to the next one. So when do we use it? So in English we use it when we describe something that's happening now or what will happen in the future, right? So I am studying now. In Spanish we say ahora. I am studying with Maria tonight. Esta noche. Say esta noche, tonight, this night, right? So in Spanish, we use it only to talk about something that's in the progress of taking place, and we do not use it for future actions. We have a different way of saying that, right? So I am studying now. We're going to use the present progressive. And then I am studying with Maria tonight, we use the present tense. So these would look like this, right? We're going to use estoy because it's I am. Estoy. Estudiar is the verb to study. So we're just going to put that in quotation, or parentheses here. We're going to drop the ending. We're going to add ando. Estoy estudiando ahora. I am studying now. I am studying now. All right? The difference here is I study. Estudio. Con, that's with, Maria. Esta noche. All right, I study with Maria tonight. We use the present tense there. See the difference? We're going to talk about using the ando, the ando, when we talk about something that's going on now. So if we had a timeline, this would be something that's literally happening as we're speaking. Okay? It's importante. Remember, we only use the present progressive for actions that are in progress. Right? Estudio español. That's from the verb estar or estudiar, which we just had. I study Spanish, meaning I study Spanish now. Right? Indicative is just a funny way of saying present. Right? Present tense. So that's just a long way of saying present tense. So when we talk about indicative, that means it's indicating what's happening now. I am studying Spanish. We would use it the same way. We would use the present tense here. I am studying Spanish. That also could be what this sentence is saying. Or I do study Spanish, right? If someone's asking you a question, do you study Spanish? You would say, yes, I study Spanish. Sí, estudio español. And here we have the difference. Estoy estudiando español, present progressive. It means I am studying right now or at this moment. It kind of depends on what the situation, but meaning that it is literally taking place as we are speaking. Okay, so here are some irregular gerunds. These are just going to be, these are going to have to be ones that you just remember. You can always refer back to this video if you need to remember which ones you're talking, or which ones have an irregular change. But anytime we have an E to an IE, and I'm always going to give you these with that in quotation or parentheses so you know if it has a stem change or not. So E to IE, like preferir becomes prefiriendo, right? E to I, like here in conseguir, consiguiendo, or O to UE is going to become a U, right? So dormir, to sleep, becomes durmiendo. So basically what I mean is that I will give you this change here. So it's going to go E to I, E to I. Most of these are going to be E to I. That just seems to be the consensus of most of irregular verbs in Spanish are E to I changing. Same thing here, E to I. Let's back that up just a little bit because it looks ridiculous. There we go. And then the same thing here, we're going to change E to I. And like I said, I'll always tell you if it's stem changing or not, because I feel like it's unfair of me to not give you that information. Right? E to I, repitiendo, diciendo, sintiendo, viniendo, pidiendo. Just remember that these all change a little bit in spelling. Right? So basically what that means is we're going to go take the ending. So this is an IR ending. We're going to go back to the vowel that comes immediately before the ending. So here it would be an E, and we're going to change it to an I. Same thing here. Take the ending, go to the vowel right before that, change it to an I. So to kind of give you my thought process here when I'm doing this. Let's see. Let me just delete this and write it again. We're going to take R-E-P-E-T-I-R, repetir. You can kind of guess that that means repeat. We're going to take the ending off first. Then we're going to change this E to an I. And then we're going to add on yendo to mean repeating. Repeating, repitiendo. Okay, let's go to the next part. Sometimes when forming the present participle, it's necessary to change the spelling of a word so that it agrees with the way it's pronounced. We call this an orthographic change. These are literally just spelling changes, right? So for example, we have poder, which becomes pudiendo. That means to be able to or can. Ir, that means to go, becomes yendo because we don't want to have just an I and an I together, right? If I left the I on and just added an I to it, it would be two I's. So we want to change it to a Y. Oír, same thing here. If I took the IR off and I just had an O, and then I added yendo. In Spanish, we don't really want to put two vowels together like that. So what we want to do is we want to change that I to a Y. Same thing here. We have two vowels. We would have an E and an I together. So we want to change that Y to, or that I to a Y. And then leer, right? Instead of having three vowels together, we want to just change that I to a Y. And then seguir is the same way, right? We want to change the E to an I so that we don't have a conflict of spelling there. Siguiendo instead of seguiendo. Okay, let's do some practice together. So here we have the subject, we have the verb. We need to write these sentences in the present progressive tense. So we're going to start off by saying, let me actually make this bold so it looks a little different. Mis amigos is my subject. We're going to use the verb están because it agrees with mis amigos, están. Okay, we have descansar here. So my first thing is I have to take the AR off, right? So I'm going to say descan. And then I would add ando to this because it is an AR verb, en la playa. Right, so mis amigos están descansando en la playa. Descansando. I missed a letter, sorry. Mis amigos están descansando en la playa. Literally, my friends are taking a nap, resting on the beach. Okay, nosotros. Let's make this bold again. Nosotros is my subject. Estamos, right? Because when we have nosotros, we use the longest verb as well. So nosotros estamos practicando deportes. Deportes son sports, ¿verdad? So están practicando deportes. They are practicing sports. Okay. Let's make this bold again. Carmen is my subject. So that would be either he or she, depending on whether Carmen is a boy or a girl. So I know I'm going to use está comiendo en casa. Carmen is eating at home. Carmen está comiendo en casa. El siguiente, por favor. Yo, mi sujeto es yo. Yo. I'm trying to make it bold, I swear. Yo estoy. Okay, here's one of those weird ones, right? We have leer. So instead of adding an I-E-N-D-O, I'm going to have to do something to this I. And I'm going to stop here to pretend like someone's answering me. Absolutely, we're going to change that Y to an I, or an I to a Y. Instead of leyendo, we're going to have leyendo el periódico. Yo estoy leyendo el periódico. I am reading the newspaper. Muy bien. Okay, él. My subject is él here. Él está pensando comprar una bicicleta. Basically, we're just leaving the rest of the sentence the way that it is. We don't have to change anything about it. So he is thinking about buying a bicycle. Pensando is to think. Comprar is to buy. Una bicicleta. Bicicleta looks like what it is. So it's super easy. Okay, ustedes here están jugando a las cartas. Ustedes están jugando. You see why we're using están here, because we have ustedes as my subject. Ustedes están jugando a las cartas. You all are playing cards. All right, cards. Playing. could spell. Playing cards. You all are playing cards. Okay, here I have two people, right? And I know that I have two people because I have an E, and I have two names, obviously. So Jose y Francisco. I had a student one time named Francisco. Jose y Francisco were saying something about sleeping. They are sleeping, right? So I know it's they because I know that if there are two people in my subject and I'm not included, there's not going to be a yo, right? So this would not be nosotros. This would be ellos. So we're going to use están. Muy bien, corrected it for me. Están, and this is another one, right? We have to change that O to a U. Durmiendo. Están durmiendo. They are sleeping. Okay? Marisa. So we have one person, one female in my subject. So we're going to use está to agree with her. This is the same thing we had up here, right? We're going to change the E in leer to, or we're going to keep the E, but when we add the I-E-N-D-O, we're going to change that I to a Y. Está leyendo correo electrónico. She is reading email. Sometimes we just say email, honestly. Sometimes people make these sentences a lot harder than they need to be because most time people are just going to say email. So correo is mail, electrónico, you would kind of figure that it's electronic, so email. Okay, Carlos is our subject. It's one person. Está tomando fotos. Carlos está tomando fotos. You guys probably can figure out what photos are. Tomando is taking pictures. Taking pictures. Okay, and then the last one we actually have a question. And when we have a question, we have the subject last. So here we're going to put the verb in front. And so we need to do an upside down question mark. If I can figure out how to do it here. You know what? I'm just going to copy and paste. Because sometimes you forget how to key in these things. Make it bold. Let's paste that in there. Cool. So we're going to say estás, right? Because we have two as our subject, estás. And then we have the same verb here that we had here. So we're going to change that O to U. Durmiendo. Durmiendo. And then always put your subject at the end. You don't have to put your subject at the end, but if it's listed in the sentence, we absolutely need to put that subject in the end. Okay, as always, if you guys have any questions for me or anything, you can let me know. And then otherwise, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much.